Hope everyone's having a great day. Today we have a 2500 Silverado, and we have a ruptured charge tube. The plastic right here on this seam is actually blown apart. I put a little clip in there. I'll show you what it looks like when you load it up. It's really hard to load this truck up like that, but you can see it split. When I take it out, I'll show you when they poke a hole through it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing replaced. I can find a good spot for the camera. So we're gonna start over here, pull this off. Missing the screws already, so that's nice. Okay. At least got these. Wonder how dirty this air filter is. I think we cleaned it last time. Yeah, don't really look. It doesn't look oiled. I do not like these systems. Just so problematic on this truck. Anything with emissions, I always just recommend factory stuff. This filter just looks really dry. Like it doesn't look oiled, it just looks dry. So basically it's a dirt air intake. It's K&N for you. Oh, that's cool. Little reach around connector. Okay, there's that. That's gonna be fun to get around. They weren't thinking very well when they engineered this system. Surprised that these clamps are they're actually sitting on here still. Usually this plastic stuff's all damaged on these K&Ns, and you suck dirt in. I mean, see how much dirt's in there? That's why I don't recommend these air filters, because they just suck dirt in the engine. It's basically a nice little gentle sandblast for the engine. Okay, now let's take this off. This is so much easier with a factory intake. I don't even know if I can get that out. We'll do it backwards, and then we'll forget to put it back together. So there's... that one. Oh, no, screws off up front. Okay, let's get this one out. Extensions are getting worn out. These are like some of the first extensions I've ever bought. They're like 10, 12 years old. Cool. So there's 410s holding this airbox in. Yours may vary if you have one of these fancy schmancy dirt intake systems. Like, see the lines I can make in there? It's horrible. Like I said, anything emissions, ideally anything, don't put these on. Anything turbocharged or with a mass airflow sensor. I mean, nowadays that's pretty much everything. Okay, now hopefully you can see down there my brain. Yeah, you can kind of see. I think it's you get all up in there. Okay, so this brace should come out. Good old Dodge. Now, when you're under here, oh, this one's actually different. On the earlier Duramaxes, this clip for this AC line is in this bracket. And if you don't pinch it right, it'll break. And if you break it, then the AC line will end up rubbing through on the bracket, and then Then replace the AC line. Pretty much everything's a 10. This one just has one for the AC line, but it's not like that. It's just a Christmas tree, not a double tap. Okay, now we're here. Let's pop this thing in. So let's start up here. These are pretty easy to remove. You just take I just use the little pry bar, just hammer it like that with my hand. And just give it a little wiggle jiggle. If I can get my hand behind it, as I'll hold it, and you don't want to pry on it too hard. Thankfully we are replacing it, so there we go. Okay, now let's do the bottom one. Get under there, get a decent view. It looks like, no, that's me. It's like it's split on the side too. I don't know which way it is. It's that way. I don't want to touch the pipe. I'm doing this kind of lazy.
Got borrow whatever 3-jaw puller or 2-bob puller you use to tilt the crankshaft pulley off that launcher?
You'd have to look in the toolbox or in the background, whatever. I'm not sure exactly which one it is. Oops. And you give a little, I'm using my little tiny pry bar. Give it a little wiggle. Yeah, it's not liking that. Want to be careful not to get your fingers. There you go, it's like that. Then you just pull it out the top, like so. Nice and easy. It's gonna be hard to see that split right here. Oh, look at me, I was wrong. I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. That's a good thing. See right here, this is where it was split. I thought it was split on the seam. And you can see I can push it down, yeah, it's cracked. So that goes in the trash. Oof, a little aggressive. So here's our brand new one, straight from the land of GM, and hopefully made with a quality that doesn't, so it lasts another, what, 10 years? So it's pretty easy to stick it in and plug it in. Oh, I think that rhymed. So we're down here again. Let's pop it in like that. She's on. Here it popped. And then up here, similar story. Want to make sure the whole thing's engaged. Okay, that's it. Now we got to put it back together. You probably could have did it without taking all this stuff off, but honestly, I usually do, even if I'm not recording. For me, this isn't bad. The only part that makes it kind of a pain in the butt is that the intake. And it has that K&N intake. The factory ones are a lot easier to work. You just pop them out and unbolt it. Then these two go down here. And the big washer, this one right here with the big washer, goes on the reservoir. Now we're gonna put that clip back in the right place this time. Tighten that. No. Okay, that's that. Okay, next we have this. You're just gonna set this in, because when we bolt the intake down, it bolts in those 4 bolt holes, so don't have to worry about that. But while I'm here, I want to fix this. I don't like stuff out of its place. Okay, so to make my life a little bit easier, I think what I'm gonna do is shove this in here. It's gonna be a little, oop, I lost my light. Let me grab my light, if I can find it. Okay, so here's the light back. Okay, so we have this. This was underneath. Make it look nice. That sits kind of like that. It's a very well engineered system, as you can see. Mike. Okay.
No fuel pressure.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
15 was the lowest I seen. It's jumping around. I don't know if you heard it over there.
I did a pop,
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
So plugs, wires, fuel
pump and fuel filter. Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then throttle body tube.
Nice. That's crazy.
You see it fluctuate too.
Old Chevy. Cool. Cool. Okay, now we're gonna put this thing back together. I'm gonna put that line. I guess I didn't have to pull one of these bolts out. This. So here's the codes before. We had turbocharger, engine under boost, heated O2 sensor, signal load during moderate load, sensor 1. So that could have been from the lack of boost. It's not creating enough heat back there. And we have turbocharger, boost system performance. So any one of these codes, obviously the underboost and that one more than likely. We just put a new NOx sensor in on sensor 1, like maybe 6-8 months ago, because something with the sensor, it just wasn't reading. It would never actually start working. So I'm not really concerned with the NOx sensor being bad. We'll go ahead and clear all this out and take her for a spin and see what she does. And then this thing does have 216,000 miles. Good old Chevy. Well, Duramax. But make sure no obvious code. Make sure I plugged everything back in. And then I'll go drive it and we'll see what happens after. So I just want to show, it's not really warmed up, but I'll get in a little bit. You can see we have perfect acceleration. So I don't even know if you can see the thing. And I had the window down, just make sure no hissing or buzzing or any kind of induction leaks, you know, whether it be intake or exhaust or, you know, who knows on the EGR side. Everything sounds good, it runs great. Before, when you try to go drive it, it would actually hiss like a cat, but obviously it ain't a cat. It's just because that tube was split open. And the way I found it, actually, just by visually looking at it, there was a little bit of wetness around it, which it was just an isolated area around that crack. There was nothing wet above it or below it or left or right of it. It was just on that spot. So I knew it had to be getting wet from somewhere, and it was more than likely charge tube. And I just poked it with my pick and I could get it to move, so I knew it was cracked. But thankfully the dealership actually had that pipe in stock, because I know like 6-8 months ago we needed one for something else and we were unable to get one. And I think I forgot what happened to that. I think we had to buy one online and deal with that. But yeah, but so far it seems good. I'll bring you guys back when I get back to the shop. So I just got back from the test drive. Truck runs beautifully, no noises whatsoever, full boost. Presumably, I mean, it runs great. There's no codes, so I think that should take care of it. We'll have the customer drive it, make sure that everything else is working good. I mean, these emissions equipped trucks are kind of a pain in the butt because they have to be driven to make sure everything is good. But so far it seems great. We obviously fixed a problem. Hopefully it takes care of all the issues he had. And also, when you do change those kind of tubes, anytime you're working on the induction system on the pressure side, I do recommend drive it kind of hard. This truck, I was easy on it at first because the engine wasn't warm. I don't want to damage the customer's truck. But I did get in a couple times, especially when I take off from the shop, because I don't want to get a couple miles away and then stand on it and then be stuck on the side of the road, because the charge tube blew off, or you know, have a extreme loss of power, because when that boot blows off, it's very loud and it does cause an extreme loss of power. But it was fine. I only wide opened it once, because when you load it up, you can get the max boost and just make sure it doesn't pop. But everything was good. She's good. So hopefully this thing, it will be perfect, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.